Yeah.
I have no idea.
Ron, I can't believe you.
He's not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. He is from Canada. I'm just gonna say.
That's right.
Yes, it's true.
Don't hold that against him.
That's right.
Awesome, great. How is everybody? Yeah? Good? All right, come on in. What's up? Hey, so I need to introduce a couple of guys. We are raising the TDH level. Remember TDH? Oh,
Wowie.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Remember we talked about that? So I actually want to introduce a couple guys. A good friend of mine, Mr. Adam in the back. He's one of my CrossFit coaches. That guy is a good man. He just passed his test on Friday. And we're excited to be here. Let's give him a good warm K-Wave welcome. And then my friend Arjan Efioglu here today for the first time. He passed his test like 2 weeks ago.
No, it was sometime in May.
Was it May? Oh well, he decided to get real and into it last week. So glad to have you, man. Right on. So guys, thank you for making your time available to us this morning. Marty and I just really do count it an honor to be able to share life, wisdom, business, leadership, development, all that good stuff. I promise you, nobody else in town is doing this to try to take over the world. So, glad to have you. Okay, so before we jump into it, anybody got any wins we can celebrate real quick from the weekend? Nancy.
Looks like my first deal is going to be done landed.
Hey! That feels pretty good. Good for you, girl. Proud of you. That's awesome. Right on. Ron.
Put a new build on the contract in Anthem.
There you go. There you go. Don't have to chase multiple offer scenario, backup stuff. Just simple and clean, right?
Keep casting.
There you go. Good job. Anybody else?
Signed my first listing contract yesterday.
Yay! Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Listings are like gold in this world. So.
Is it under contract? Under contract?
Yeah.
I want to make 3 offers.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Anybody else before we move on? Just humble brags. It's okay. We love it. No? Okay, cool. All right, a couple of things I wanted to point out. Anybody hear of the Denver disruption event that happened here recently? Anybody pay attention to that? It was actually something that happened downtown. A lot of commercial real estate guys got together and some tech companies and talked about the Denver disruption that's happening, and that's what they actually called it, the Denver disruption event. Basically, these guys came together, talked about the differences between San Francisco and Denver. You know, I have mentioned in the past, we've looked at some of the San Francisco real estate. Well, guys, guess what this place is going to turn into? And I'm going to say it prophetically. We will be the next San Francisco.
Yes.
It's happening. The tech world is coming here. It's really cool. Who does business close to the A-line? Like different areas, different focuses. Who's heard of what's happening with Peña Station next? Oh, come on, guys. You got to be in the know. Can I tell you what's happening?
Sure.
All right. The goal of this new development, it's a sizable development, 400 acres near Peña Station on the A-line. It's owned by 4 entities, one of them being DIA. That's pretty significant partner to have, right? So what they're doing is basically creating this self-sustaining, flowing out corporate, environmental friendly, urban, there's a lot of that urban gentrification going on, the new spaces. Well, what's interesting is companies are actually getting behind these disruptions because they see that as the new wave of millennial living. It's really, really interesting. One of the things that they said, the DIA CEO Kim Day and Panasonic Vice President Jarrett Wendt, basically creating this whole idea. It's a solar energy collection, battery storage system, network of programmable LED streetlights, and video analytics technology. Peña will be one of the most sustainable developments in the country. But that's not the only reason why Panasonic was interested, is because the location's connection to transit on the new A-line will be absolutely vital to the company's site selection because of the train to the airport. So basically you have San Francisco type tech transformation happening here in Denver, but then the accessibility to the world. Hey, that's kind of a big deal. And so if you're not really in the know of what's happening on a commercial real estate level here, guys, you have got to get a little bit more plugged in and in tune, because there are massive things happening. And guess who gets to be beneficiaries of that? Absolutely. Yeah.
I met a Google transferee over the weekend. And the interesting thing in discussing with him is the fact that Google is not using professional relocation service. They're basically saying, here's some money. They call it Silicon Mountain. Go down, find your place, do whatever. So if you run across these people, they are not attached to a relocation company. So you want to be able to grab them and work these guys. And he says he's excited.
So the reason why Denver's hot as far as the location for this type of Googles, Panasonics, all that stuff, is because obviously we afford one of the greatest qualities of life in the country, but also compared to San Francisco, our cost of living, oh my gosh. I mean, I moved from Texas and I was like sticker shock, but I can't imagine those coming from San Francisco. They're thinking they're getting a bargain. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Really, really interesting stuff that happened. And it really was only, I think, 2 weeks ago that the event happened. So, I'd encourage you guys, man, make friendships with architects. Make friendships with people in the city, at that type of level. Get into the know of what is happening on a bigger scale. Not just about selling a house in Westwoods or Five Park, right? There's a lot of stuff happening. Yeah,
have you heard about the racetrack project over around there?
That I have not heard.
I-70 and E470.
What's that? Is it like
NASCAR?
NASCAR.
Yes. So.
Interesting.
I've been looking into that.
Yeah.
The project is there. I'm not sure when they're starting.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah, and that's going to be Denver's secondary. Denver Tech Center is out there at I-70, E470, going in with a huge amount of development over the next 5 years, with basically another Denver Tech Center area out nearer to VIA.
Which isn't a bad idea to start having some connections and some focus there, because there's not a whole lot of land in between Boulder and Golden left where we live, right?
There's a lot.
I mean, that stuff is happening. So you can ignore it and pretend like it's not happening, but the reality of it is there's going to be a lot of deals made. So, cool? Good? Awesome. Right on. Okay. I want to talk a little bit more today about leveraging your business network. Okay? Who wants more leads?
Of course, me.
Thank you. Okay. Who needs more leads?
Of course, me.
Okay, good. The idea of not really making this a consistent focus, a weekly focus with the business relationships that you already have, guys, you're missing out on one of the most untapped sources of wealth in the real estate world. Okay? We've all heard of leads, listings, leverage, right? We've seen this model. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, this is interaction. Okay. Not leverages. Or who's seen the stool method, right? Talking about the thing you sit on. Ground today. All right, so we get the three-legged stool, right? So basically, if this is the business, your business, right, that is at the center, what you would in essence build on or sit on. Okay, we have basically your what's the word I'm saying?
Marketing.
Hold on, I wrote it down. Thank you. Okay, basically you got kind of your personal sphere as one stool leg, right, that you hold up. Basically, you have, clientele that is existing, and then you have kind of your business-to-business referrals, right? Sort of as these three legs. I kind of want to look at this model and give you guys a number to shoot for. The reality of it is who does most of their business through referrals? Majority in the room. What would you say? How much percentage? 90%. 80%. Guys, that's like a whole lot easier than just picking up the phone and prospecting. Who gets tired of prospecting? You can like call in. Thank you. We got Leon who's honest in the room. Charlie is not really sure. She just came from Bold, so she's still in denial. The reality is, guys, that if you want to get off the prospecting train, then you need to do it for 5 years consistently, right? But guys who've been in the business a long time, when was that shift? When did that happen for you where you didn't have to like kind of smile and dial and pound the phone so much? 15 years, okay, to become an overnight success, thank you.
About 5 years.
About 5 years, okay? Those of you who are newer or kind of just starting to get through those thresholds, guys, 40% needs to be the number that you shoot for. And the reason is because when you look at a business-to-business referral, I want to give you a few understandings to help you make it a part of your daily and weekly interactions, okay? Business relationships produce a higher quality lead. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Why?
You get to borrow their authority and their respectability.
Okay. What else?
Their business name's on the line.
Okay. Reputation. Yeah. Okay. People who have a financial planner, they have finances to plan. You notice that? Right? People who have an accountant have money to buy a house. It's pretty simple. If those of you who are utilizing services in your relationships or in your vendor network and you're not tapping into that, you're missing out. How many vendors do you guys think are involved in the purchase of a home or the transfer of real estate? Take a guess.
50.
50?
12.
12? At a bare minimum, there's about 25. If you think of the landscaper, the roofer, the plumber, the electrician, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Who has a business directory of people? If you don't have a solid business directory that you are utilizing as a part of your database, man, you're missing out on great potential, high quality leads. Who's using the Homekeeper app? We got 2 people in the room. 3. All right. Guys, that is a phenomenal way. I cannot tell you how easy it is to get on the phone with Jimmy the whatever and say, hey, pal, I'm in the same business as you are. I would love to give you access to my database of hundreds, if not thousands of people. Could we meet to talk about what that could look like? So that I could refer business to you and you could. Hey, right? The answer to a small business is another small business, okay? But I find we get so caught up in just chasing this that we miss out. So here's what I've discovered, okay? Typically, the second thing about utilizing business to business is that it's a higher average sale price. Why is that important, guys?
They're until that they.
We make money off percentage.
Percentages! That's how you get paid. Pretty simple, right? The other aspect that I want to, just kind of make a point here is that, guys, it's not just a personal referral when it comes from your business to business network. It's a professional referral. Like there's that quality of lead that really elevates it, okay? The other thing that I want to just kind of make note is that who's noticed, is it easier to ask for referrals and to receive?
Yes.
Yes.
Much.
Yes.
You don't have to feel like you're grinding or like, trying to flip the script or having this objection. It's like there's already that common relationship built. So here's how I want you to look at this. It's not necessarily just a stool, but it's actually more, let's just say you've got kind of your personal, we've compartmentalized that, okay? Then you have clientele currently that you're working with. And then you've got your business to business. What I would rather you see is more kind of like you being the hub. This is you. And anytime there's information that needs to be passed through these people, it's going through you. Does that make sense? And what that does, it actually looks like what the airlines do. The airlines have portals, Priceline, Travelocity, and they become the hub of information. Who buys a ticket from United.com or Delta or... We've got a couple people.
I think only Southwest.
Only Southwest, right? Yeah, exactly. Everything else we're doing what? We're leveraging a portal. It's the same thing. It's not really any cheaper. But when you have you being the center and the focus, because what's proprietary about what you do? A service? Well, what does that mean? You. Okay, you are proprietary, yes. Thank you, Titus. Maybe I need to ask you differently.
Yes.
Okay. What's the proprietary thing that you own and transfer? Knowledge and information. So if you do not have yourself set up and established in this type of a format, man, what ends up happening is that stuff falls away. Business is lost because you're not establishing yourself as the expert, right? Because here's the deal. We have a lead that comes in, right? And you do a good job, right? And what happens if you do a good job?
Referral.
Okay, but what, for you make money. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so the lead comes in. It's from referral source, right? So what do we do with those referrals? Thank them, right? Okay, thank you. Acknowledge. In order, because we don't want this to go away, right? Okay, so we acknowledge them and we can appreciate them, right?
But we also try hard to return.
Absolutely. So it becomes the cyclical nature of the deal. But the lead source, guys, you know, in this vein, business to business, is painters, plumbers, what else? Landscapers, all that stuff. If we aren't putting a focus there, what ends up happening is that we can actually see decline. If it's not, man, make Tuesdays just a day to go out and connect. Who's worked construction before? So a good majority. At 3 o'clock, I mean, are you just like tired and would love a little pick-me-up? Guys, go to Sonic or whatever you have. It's happy hour, half price. Take the crew, find out where they are, and take them a bunch of high fructose corn syrup, 44 ounces. I mean, they're going to love you and appreciate you. That type of drop-by, pop-by is absolutely worth your time, and it's going to cost you about $4.87. It's just a great way to connect. Yeah.
I want to share something. One of the groups I'm in, they don't use the word lead. They barely use the word referral. They use the word opportunity.
Sure, absolutely.
Because a lead is a false ceiling or a false floor, better word. But I wanted to share something that they require in this group, and we ought to take the same vein.
Okay.
It's just to put a person's name down and a phone number and say, call Lee. That's a real bad way of doing it. They ask you to make the warm introduction to that person and even go so far as to be a third party when you meet the first time.
Sure.
Then you have some stock in it, and then you show what your integrity is, and it will come back to you tenfold.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to write a name down, and then when you chase a name, after about 2 of those, you've written them off because they're nothing but a name writer on a piece of paper.
Yeah. And that's just it, guys. But the reality of it is that this cycle, it's for any business, any small business, right? And so if we don't stay focused on really making this a part of what we are doing naturally, we're really missing out. I want to highlight it because I see so often agents that just chase this. What's the next Boomtown? What's the next Zerpal? What's the next Trulia? What's the next whatever? These impressions, clicks, you know, all this stuff. But man, like these businesses are like saying, hey, I'm open. Hey, how can I help you? Just a simple way, okay? I want you to create in your business the law of reciprocity. Who knows what that means?
Give and then receive.
That when you do good to others, in return, people want to do good back to you.
Notice how he didn't say, I gave to you, now you owe me. That's a very big difference. That's manipulation, right? Who wants to build their business on that? So, thank you for not putting your hand up, okay? I was just seeing if you do Simon Says as a test, okay? All right, so I want to give you one quick script before I turn it over to Marty, but the reality of it is I see too often we get so focused on chasing this nebulous lead when you could be focusing on what could generate 80 to 90% of your business in the business-to-business referral, okay? Here's a great way to say it. As business owners, one thing we have in common is the need to continually generate leads, creating common ground, okay? In my experience, the best type of client to work with is a referred client because they come in with a level of trust in me and knowledge of the kind of service I'll provide. I'm in a coaching program. Who's in a coaching program? Everybody should put up their hands because if you're not learning daily, you're missing out. Where I'm learning how to generate more leads. My goal is to seek out like-minded business owners who are committed to delivering excellent service, who I can refer my clients to, and create win-win relationships with, where we both benefit from referred business. Would it be helpful to get together and talk about how I can help your business? It's simple, guys. Create the appointment. You've got a mobile device that you can help market their business for them in the HomeKeeper app. Utilize it. You're missing out if you're not. Okay?
Yeah. Real quick, one of the things from the Ben Kinney class 2 weeks ago or something, one of the cool ones that he did was find a local business, a dry cleaner, a mom and pop shop, head Old Town. There's a million of them down there, whatever you want, or your attorney, whatever you choose. Just go to them and use the same kind of script. One of the things you can do is just grab your phone real quick and selfie style do a video with that business owner and say, hey guys, I'm just here with my attorney or my accountant that's shop in Old Town, and just want to point out how awesome this stuff is. Let them talk for like 30 seconds about their stuff. Make it a 2 or 3 minute video, and then you just say, I'm going to feature this on my website, on my YouTube channel. I'm going to put it out on your social media. I'll put it out on mine. We'll just combine our networks and make it work together. It's easy. It takes like 5 minutes to do, and boom, you're done.
And if you mention this video when you come in, he'll give you 10% off or something of value. Okay? Cool? Good?
Good.
Yes.
Guys, let's give it up for our man Marty Reiswick and coming in. Put a nice little bow on it all.
What's up, everybody? How are you?
What's up, Marty?
Doing good today?
Yes.
Awesome. Have a great weekend?
Yeah.
Good. Thanks, Lee. That was great stuff. That's actually how we get the vast majority of our businesses. I love being in partnership and relationship with other small business owners. And I want to encourage you guys that the stuff that you learn in the MREA, the stuff that you learn in a lot of these classes, even the Ben Kinney classes, whatever, is transferable to other industries. So I want you to feel like if you are the kind of teacher, speaker, educator, even just a connector, and you don't want to be up front, you have a lot of value to bring to other local small business owners.
Good.
That you could get together with them and have an unofficial leads group or an official leads group or referral group, or don't say the word referral group, that passes relationships, and you can provide that value by using the stuff that you learn in here even, okay? So don't be afraid to take what you learn here and give it out as a value add. So last week, we're gonna jump past what Lee just said and go back to last week. Last week, Lee clarified for us that goals, while they're good, they're only good to glance at now and then instead of totally be focused on. The goals reduce your current happiness because you want to make $1 million this year, but you're only at about $100 this year, and you're like, oh, shoot, there's no way I'm going to make it. And if you hyper focus on goals, it actually reduces your happiness, and then you can get really discouraged. But rather to commit to a process or a system, and that can be much more powerful and effective. So goals are about the short-term gains, and the processes and the systems are actually about the long-term gains. You guys remember this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good stuff.
Good. Thanks for the feedback, man. That's awesome. That's how you do crowd involvement. All right, guys. So goals are good for planning your progress, but systems are good for making your progress. Okay, so it's great to have a goal of winning the Super Bowl, but if you actually want to win the Super Bowl, you need to practice every day, yeah? Are we good? Okay, so we need to have a system that supports the goal and then stick to that system daily, or however often your system tells you you need to do that system, yes? So we're going to go over some very basic, go back to basic models, but I don't want to spend all day there because that's what we do, in coaching and all that stuff. So I'm going to remind you of some basic systems very, very quickly, and then move on to some more important, very fun things to talk about. So let's say, just as a quick reminder, let's say somebody in the room has a goal of making $100,000 net in a year, okay? There's a few of you I happen to know. So your goal is 100K a year. We've already talked about a lot of this stuff, so your net goal needs to be roughly 160. All this stuff is in the MREA. I'm going to skim over it and just go back over what the bottom line is. So if your purchase price is roughly, and I'm going to make it an exact amount, $333,000, $333,333.33, then at roughly a 3% commission, you're making about 10K per transaction. You like how I re-engineer, reverse engineer that, because I want to make it super easy, because then that means you need 16 transactions. Are we good so far?
Yes.
I know I'm going really, really fast for some of you that are new or whatever, but this equals that, and then if you follow the typical what am I trying to say? The conversion rates, the average conversion rates will tell you, and we do this all through the different models, that you need roughly one appointment, one buyer or seller listing appointment every single week to reach those things. Are we good?
One appointment per week is 16 deals a year.
Now I'm skipping. It's roughly.
Right, I'm just saying that. Yeah.
Roughly that.
With those conversions.
Yeah, roughly. You can get into that in the economic model, but I'm just kind of skipping over that to remind you. Basically, your goal, if you had 2 goals, which you should only have 1, your goal is 1. Well, that was a terrible one. A 1 appointment a week. The reason and that's, again, you got to average that out. So some weeks in the middle of the summer, you may have 2 or 3 or 4 appointments, or a team might have 15 or 16 appointments during the summer, and then during the winter, when some people say the market is down, that you may have fewer. Okay, or you may choose to take the month of December off, and so you need to change your averages. But the point is roughly 1. If you want to make 200 grand, how many appointments do you suppose you need to make?
2
every week, yeah? And if your team needs to make $1 million every year, then how many do you need? 10. Good job. Well done. 6th grade math right there, ish. Okay. All right. So the question is, if this is the goals, the question is, how do you do that? How do you do this? Right? Because we want to have a system or a process showing that we got progress every week. This is our Super Bowl. How do we practice weekly? What do we have as far as a game plan in place? Do you have a playbook that you play by? Do you have a practice schedule that you do, right? Do you have a coach that pushes you? Do you have a physical trainer that that gives you stretching or whatever it is? Do you have enough energy to pull that off, right? Maybe you need to talk about your nutrition, your exercise, your sleep. Guys, our nation is sleep deprived. It's terrible. Turn off the dang little screen and go to bed. Okay? Those little LED lights or whatever are scientifically proven to keep you awake longer. Turn the thing off and read for an hour and you'll be asleep like that. So, watch yourself and see if you can train yourself as an athlete of real estate to get to the point where your value is at $160,000 gross. How do we do that? Let's put a system in place that supports our goals and then stick to that. Okay? I'm going to draw you a little chart that kind of gives a basis for this. You want money coming in, right? So how do we get there? Well, we need to spend some money going out. That's a minus, okay? That's a small, there you go. We're going to make a little cycle here. What you need, let's say these are some people getting closer and closer to us, right? And a whole bunch of people back here. Little people going off into... Are we good? Yeah, you love my stick art. Don't mess with me in my stick art, okay? So you need a crowd of people. We're going to put that there. And what you need in that crowd of people is to be on their thoughts.
Yep.
Okay? And maybe, if you're really lucky, be on there. Words, speech bubbles. Okay? Because then you might get you plus them, plus, not times, plus them doing a deal on a house. And that means money coming in. Are we good?
Yes.
If you
It all makes sense now.
See? You plus them and houses equals money? All right. This is how simple real estate is, though, you guys. We complicate it. We overcomplicate it. We make it so, oh, that phone weighs 1,000 pounds. Pick up the dang phone and call
It does, Marty.
It does. I'm just encouraging you. At the end of the day, it's you plus another human being, just like you, but you can help them with their house. Okay? So that is my version of a system. Okay? I'm a bit of a child, and if it's not dumbable, downable, I'm outable. Okay? So.
Can we quote that?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody else will know what you're talking about if you take that out of context. So what we need to do is basically divide the world up into two types of people. And we'll just go right down the middle. And the MREA talks about this at length. And again, I'm reminding you of some old models. There's some old tried and true models. Mets and not Mets. Haven't Mets yet. Whatever you want to call them. These are people, these Met people are the ones who would walk up to you in a grocery store and say hello and would know your name. Okay? These are not just some dude you have in a database that you don't remember. Okay? Your unmets, well, I guess they kind of can be technically, but I would prefer them to be people who actually know you. Okay? Your unmets can be everybody else. Right? People that you haven't yet met at an open house, people you haven't met yet in a geographic farm, a demographic farm, people you haven't met yet because their Zillow leads still coming in. These are people you haven't actually shaken hands with and gotten to know their name. Now, let's do the real easy stuff that we've gone over before. Again, I'm trying to go quick so we can get through these models. But according to the MREA, you're looking at roughly, if you touch these people 33/now they're saying 36 times a year, you're looking at roughly one transaction for every 10 people in this Met database that you're staying in touch and in front of, because you've got a 36 touch program so that you stay top of mind. Okay? That's all we're doing here, guys. We're taking these people and staying top of mind, on their lips if possible. Okay? We want them to be talking about us. We want them to be thanking us for something that we did for them, something we gave to them, something we recently said that was enlightening or entertaining or engaging. Okay? So, if you can get a 10-to-1 ratio, you need how many people to get the 16 deals? 160. To get to your 16 deals. Are we good? Okay. That's not a whole ton of people, but if you're brand new, that's like, oh my gosh, that's 100 times more than I have currently. Or maybe 10 times. So, how can you build up more Mets? Well, you go out and you do the hard stuff of, finding people in farms or leads in some other leads group or what have you, and you meet them and you say, hi, now I know your name. You're over here now. And you're a real human being. Are we good so far? Okay. So, simple question is, are you collecting these people, especially these people, into an organized database?
Yes.
If you're not, you just lost your system/process/progress. You can't play football and win a Super Bowl if you literally don't even know who's on your team. So, who's on your team? Where are those people? Do they exist? Do they have data? Do you keep track of each time you talk to them? Can you write a little quick note in that, database? Keller Williams provides you with eEdge. You can put notes in there till kingdom come, right? And it's super easy. Add note, left a voicemail, done. And it tags the date and time that you did that. Okay, almost any CRM will do that for you. If you're not putting these people into a database, you don't know who they are or what touches you're doing or whatever, you're not going to eventually keep them have them keep you top of mind. It really is that simple. So that's question number 1, is do you have them in a database? And question number 2 on all of these 36 touches is, do you have that in your calendar? I hate how difficult and simple it is to have a calendar and put time blocks in it and make these touches happen. I hate how hard that is. But it's so simple. It's so simple. Put in a time block for every one of these touches. Well, I'm going to call 5 people today. Well, that gets really hard. Just ask my assistant. I fail all the time. Right? But for the first 3 years I was in the business, I had to call 20 people a day, 20 conversations every single day. That was my rule. Okay? There were times I put stupid little whips and carrots into my life, right? A whip is like a negative, reinforcement, and a carrot's a positive one. I mean, I one time for about a year, I did, if I don't make my 20 connections by lunch, I don't get to eat lunch. Boy, I tell you, by 3:30 in the afternoon, I was picking up that dang phone, right? I was getting real hungry, and I needed to eat some lunch, so I had to make my 20 connections before I could eat lunch, okay, no matter what time that was. So whatever you've got to do, positive or negative reinforcement, or a little bit of both, for a while, my wife and I agreed that we couldn't do date night unless I had my 1 appointment a week. Remember our goal? My 1 appointment a week. And so then all of a sudden, she was actually asking me at night, hey, did you get your appointment yet? I kind of want a babysitter on Friday night. I kind of want a break from the kids. Okay? Now, I'm somewhat brave, and some people are like, oh man, if I gave that kind of power to my spouse, I would hate it. Okay, whatever. My wife and I have a good relationship that way, but whatever it requires of you to make these touches happen, the 2 basic questions are, do I know where all these people are in a database? Do I have a database? Do I have it time blocked out? Okay? So, with the last 22 minutes, I do that till 9:30. Yeah? We good? Okay. Is this helping anybody so far?
Yeah, that's good.
That's the basics. Now listen, we're going to go into something that's not the basics, but don't do the next thing until you have the first thing. If you don't have this in place, if you don't have them in a database and in your time blocked, start there. Because the rest of this stuff is because you've somewhat mastered this, you can move on. Okay? So, our goal is to get in front of people and stay in front of people with recency and frequency. Okay? And give. We talked about that. Give, give, give. Just giver of information, of time, of help, of connections with your vendors. Give, give, give. Okay. Then the next question is, do you have a written plan for those Mets and those not Mets? Have you actually written down, well, out of these 36 touches, we're going to do 12 emails, 12 mailers, yada, 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 yada. And then I put in my calendar, on the 1st of each month, I'm doing this email. On the 15th of each month, I'm doing these emails. Or at least I'm doing an email, and I'm going to put a time block the day before that to create that piece. Are you with me? Get it down into an actual calendar that you go and do those things. And then if those come along, and those time blocks hit, and you've got something else going on, or you're sick that day, which is pretty much should be the only excuse you ever have, is I was literally so sick I couldn't do this, then you take that time block and you move it to the next day, right? You don't delete it. Don't delete it. Unless you've gone a whole week or 2 and it's so piled up, it's overwhelming. Okay, revisit your plan, erase that, and try again. Okay, maybe make it smaller, or maybe just, get more accountability, or go back to your big why. Why are you doing this? Okay? So, moving on, we're going to, let's see, we've done these 2. So we're going to do these 3 if we have the time, and we may not have the time for this last one. A lot of small business owners, not just realtors, a lot of small business owners go into business and they say, I intend to work really, really hard, because that's how I was taught, that's how I was raised. I intend to work really hard and I hope to make a lot of money. Great, guess what? you get what you intend, and you don't get what you hope for.
That's good.
In everything, right?
That's it.
Right? I really hope to lose some weight this year. Oh, I really hope to gain some muscle mass this year. Great, but do you intend it? Right?
Kevin Cooney.
Coons! I mean, do you put it into a diet regimen? It's the same stuff, no matter what you're trying to accomplish. Guys, a hope is something you can talk about and do absolutely nothing about. An intention is something that you have to do something about, or it's never going to occur, right? Are we good? So, you get what you intend, not what you hope for. And unfortunately, you end up getting exactly that, right? You got into business and then you work really, really hard, and hopefully you make some money. And you might not make exactly what you'd hoped. But what's sad is you go into business for yourself and you forget to also intend to give yourself time. Okay? So a good business should give you both time and money. Money and time. All this goal talk up here that we had before I erased it and did this, we gold our one meeting a week and our 100 grand net. But we didn't goal any time. You can work 60 hours a week and get all of that and hate yourself, or hate your life, or hate a week or two here and there, or hate a month or two here and there. And so I challenge you to add to your goals and therefore your plans and systems. How much time does this thing give me? And that answer is different for everybody, right? There are some of us that absolutely love our jobs and we want to work 60 hours a week, and that's our passion. Great, right? You get to make your own business rules here, because you own your business. You're all independent contractors. We can't fire you for not doing more business, right? So, but you have to ask yourself and be honest with yourself, is this business giving me the time that I want, not just the money? So what you end up with oftentimes, unfortunately, is a never-ending treadmill of working very hard to make money. And if you ever step off that treadmill, you don't make money that week, or you don't make money that month, okay? If you ever get heaven forbid you ever get a physical ailment or a medical condition, and you can't make those calls or those 36 touches or what have you, everything stops, right? The gravy train is derailed and you make no money. If you're really successful at this, you make a ton of money and you work your face off and you dislike it. So my question to you is, what if there was a better way? What if there was a better way? What if you could document, at least to a small degree, and this is where I'm finally getting to some of the stuff that I wanted to give to you guys. What if you could finally get rid of some of the stuff that you don't want to do? Wouldn't that be nice?
That sounds awesome.
So let's talk really fast about dual tracking, okay? And it's simply writing down the stuff you're already doing. And I don't care how shorthand it is, as long as you understand it. Write down the stuff you're already doing. Every time you go on a listing appointment, what do you take with you? What do you prepare ahead in advance? Right? What are you going to do for all of their marketing? Well, we call RMD signs for our signage. We call so-and-so for our print. We call so-and-so for our little website. Or we do our own little website. We put it on Facebook. Well, how do you put it on Facebook? Well, we do this, 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 and this. I want to show you guys something that Keller Williams provides to us. Carrie, do you mind figuring out how to turn this on?
No.
Tech expert. I know I can, but I don't want to.
Way to leverage, Marty.
Yeah. Great leverage. Great leverage.
What I actually want to show you is this one. So, what I want you to do, if you're dual tracking, if you just want to start getting rid of little things, okay? I decided I'm never mowing my own lawn again. So I figured out, well, how much do I have to pay for that? How many deals do I have to do? Tiny little budget. I never want to touch another lawnmower because I did it for like 5 years as a teenager. So I hate mowing lawns. I don't want to touch it. What if there's something in your business that you know you're better at certain things than other things? Could you possibly give away those other things? And one of the best ways to do that is dual tracking. It's just starting to write down what you already do so that you can begin figuring out what pieces of that you can get rid of. And I know some of you are already starting to think, oh my gosh, well, what does that do to my bottom line? If I wanted to net 100,000 or I wanted to net 200,000. Guys, the good news is it actually increases your bottom line because it gets things off your plate that take you too long. How many in here are just not that great at computers? They just kind of drive you crazy. Awesome. Don't you think you could do better at the stuff that you're good at if you never had to touch a computer? Right? How many of you in here are very good with computers and it's very natural for you? Fantastic. Those of you who are terrible at computers, look around and hire them every now and then to do some stuff for you on computers, right?
I'm real expensive.
This is a great example back here, right? We had a kind of a newbie agent and kind of wanted to, get in with a little bit of an experienced team and learn from them. So that was the value that the team provided. The team wasn't so good at computers. So we got a young newbie who's really good at computers, gets paid a little bit to do computer stuff, but is also still building his own real estate practice, right?
Right.
So, guys, that's possible. How many of you have or know teenagers that would love a summer job?
Besides mowing lawns.
Besides mowing lawns, yeah. A summer job that they could do in the basement of their mom's house, right? That's a great opportunity for them to do some of these things for you. But you can't do that. It feels daunting until you write it down. When you write it down, you actually begin realizing, wow, this is entirely possible, okay? This is a really, wow, I don't know why I did a split screen, but for now you can ignore this and look at this, but that's way too small for you guys. I don't know why I did that. Let's try it this way. Is that better?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do the one. Okay. Now, leave it up to the MREA to make a model and a diagram that is so confusing that you don't want to do it anymore. Okay? But just so you know, almost every question in Keller Williams or in real estate, Keller Williams has an answer for and a model for. Okay? Yes?
Is this in the book?
Yeah, it's not in the book, but you can, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, KW University, KWU University, whatever it is. Yeah, they're pushing everybody to this Connect video thing or whatever. Has everything. Like just search for MREA and you'll find everything.
Keller Inc. is where you'll find all these things.
Every model.
KellerInc.com is the publication arm.
Okay.
They keep all these on that site.
Thank you.
Yep.
I was
Thank
wondering
you, man.
because all of a sudden I type in Keller Williams University and it like pushes me to KU Connect. All right, because evidently we can't learn anything other than by video anymore.
KU Connect has documents also.
Awesome. The battle of the minds has begun. So what I want to do is actually show you the way I would do it, and then you can do their version or my version, okay? It's called a freedom map. And I call it a freedom map because we want to have more freedom in our lives. So let's talk about the very basic process of this business. I'll give you the beginning step. We'll say, well, we need to have some sort of sales and marketing arm. We're going to call that our 36 touch program. Okay? Inside 36 touches is all of the explanation of this. If you could open this up like a book, it would say how many emails, what's in those emails, how many, postcards, how many this, how many that, right? We good? So then, if somebody wants to possibly buy a house, then what happens? You have
Listing presentation.
an appointment? Or should we just jump to that already?
Sure.
So let's say we have an appointment. Inside of that appointment, inside of that little book, if you could open it up, what would be some of the things it would say?
Listing presentation.
Yep. Okay, then what? Assigned contract or agreement? Okay, we can go there. Exclusive right, well, that was not an E. Whatever. Exclusive right to buy or sell, yeah?
Yes.
Then what?
Staging.
Then we go to Sizzler.
Come on, guys, what happens after that? What do you do?
Buy a house.
Yeah, it depends on buyer or seller. For buyer, you drive around.
Drive a million
For
miles.
sellers, you do
Nothing. Get a listing.
staging and marketing stuff. Okay. Then I don't care which it's buyers or sellers. At some point, then what do you do?
Negotiating contract.
Under contract. We love that. Hey, no spending on pending, by the way. All right. Then what else? What's that? We go to closing? Okay, then what?
Ask for a referral.
Then right back to there, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, ask for a referral.
You should do that at every step.
Part of the, yeah, at each step of the way. Now, is there an obvious part of this that you can get help on for relatively cheap? Okay. So how much does the under contract piece cost, and who do you farm it out to?
175 out of your Griffin.
Very good. Matt, say that again.
175, and it's Heidi or Griffin.
For $175, I would say to roughly $350, depending on your level of service and what you purchase. You can farm that out, at least the vast majority of it. I didn't completely replace the black color because that's you. You do have to touch base. You do need to do your part, go to inspections and whatnot. But you can get a lot of help for very little, okay? Compared to that 10 grand we talked about back in the beginning of this. What else can you possibly get help with on here?
36 touch.
Oh, what do you mean?
Send out those postcards, have somebody do that for you.
There you go. Who could do something like that?
Title company.
Title companies. What? Okay. What dollar per hour work is that typically going to cost? Give me a range.
$10.
Yeah.
10 to what?
12.
I'd say 10 to 15, maybe 20, depending on the level you're talking about, right? You may end up getting a really good, a really good Trevor who you pay $20 an hour to do all kinds of stuff inside your 36 touches.
And you get what
Not
you
just
pay for
postcards.
sometimes.
You get what you pay for. Not just postcards. They could do all kinds of awesome stuff. Digital, print,
Yes.
any number of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else could you do? There you go. You got all kinds of resources for this, right? I mean, come on. If you don't want to make money buying or selling in real estate, but you want to stay in the real estate industry, what do?
Sell the realtors.
Sell stuff to realtors, right?
So,
That's
God, yes.
right there and right there, okay? If you're tired of helping buyers and sellers, come up with a product you can sell to realtors, okay? What else?
Showing assistance for buyers.
Hey, now we're talking. Buyers. And what do they cost? Whatever you negotiate.
That's right.
Okay, because they're a licensed realtor. Please do not hire showing assistants that aren't licensed realtors. Very, very scary on your E&O insurance.
Yeah.
You're not covered. Okay, so whatever you negotiate. Anything else on here you could do?
Same basic comes on the seller side, right? You hire RMD to put your sign out in your lockbox. You hire someone else to advertising or social media, and you hire somebody else to print your flyers out. And
Very good. Spoken like a true team member. Okay, how much does that typically cost?
10 to 15 again.
Yep, roughly 10 to 20 bucks again, depending on who you hire to move what, to set what up, to do whatever. Okay, guys, you work in an industry with the largest commission of any sales business in the nation. You have a little bit of money to play with, because guess what? Now you're left with boxes that you are good at, right? What if every time the pitcher got on the mound, they were required to throw every other pitch with the wrong hand?
Short career.
They would suck.
Yes.
Baseball would be funny to watch. You'd have a bunch of grown men throwing like girls. I mean, throwing like me left-handed. Come on. That's an old adage. It's okay.
Nice suntan, Marty.
I mean, I just look. I look like a 3-year-old when I throw left-handed. Like I'm having a convulsion. You know. What? That would be ridiculous. But why? But we do it in business.
It's true.
We throw with our left hand in business all the time.
Yes.
Dum da dum dum dum. Okay. Don't do dumb stuff in business. Do smart stuff. Because guess what happens? If you leverage out the vast majority of this, and the vast majority of this, and the vast majority of this, you think you're going to actually lose money?
No.
Maybe at first. Let's think about our long-term gains. Right? Let's get good at what realtors are really good at. having appointments. You should be really good at that. Because we talked about the value of an appointment a couple of weeks ago. You guys remember that? How much was the value of a listing appointment with a buyer or a seller?
$2,500.
Roughly $2,500. And how long does that take? How long does this actual appointment and its prep take for you?
2 hours of prep.
2 hours of prep and then an hour for an appointment?
Yeah.
That's roughly $750 an hour.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty good. Okay? And then you hopefully get that signed at that appointment. So this is no extra time. Or maybe some follow-up by the person that helps you with this. Or somebody follows up and makes sure to get that signed. But then you do all kinds of stuff in here that's also worth a heck of a lot of money. Wouldn't it be weird if like high-level attorneys, if there was no such thing as executive assistants for attorneys, or like, what are those things called? Those paralegals. What if there were no paralegals? Wouldn't that be kind of dumb?
Nothing would get done.
Right?
Yep, that's true.
Right. And I get it that it sucks to pay a whole lot of money to an attorney, but you're not paying just to that attorney. Right? When you walk up and what's your favorite fast food restaurant?
In-N-Out Burger.
Chick-fil-A. I love it. In-N-Out Burger in California. When you walk up and you pay, unfortunately like $8.50 for a Chick-fil-A number 4 with extra crispy fries, then does that cashier make $8.50?
No.
No.
In Seattle.
all right. Come on, man. It's a business you can own and you can run, and it doesn't have to run your life. And here's the great thing. I have not put up here anything about a team. I have not put up here anything about having a millionaire real estate agent team. I was doing all of these pieces at a small level when I was doing 12 deals every 6 months. When I did 24 deals in a year, I found somebody to help me a little bit with this and to do transaction coordination and a little bit with both of those. You can do baby steps to a baby team and you can still be 100% in charge. You don't have to hire somebody and provide, an office for them and blah, 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 blah. It's the 21st century, guys. People are willing to do a little bit of work here and there to make a little bit of money here and there. Or you can do it on a big scale, right? That's great, that's fine. But I would just encourage you to focus on the main stuff and have a little bit of a systematic mind. What's awesome, and what this is basically saying, is write down these steps, or whatever steps make sense to you, at the top of a piece of paper. One paper for that, one paper for that, one paper for that, so on and so forth, okay? And on that piece of paper, you write down the baby steps in there, roughly. Well, we got baby steps for this, and baby steps for that, and baby steps for this, and baby steps for that, and here's the process for this, and here's the process for that, right? We call RMD signs, here's the phone number. We go to Facebook and we do a Facebook page. Here's a YouTube video on how to do that. We send out postcards and we do them through Land Title. We send out emails and we do them through MailChimp. We do this, we do that. Okay? You take all of those pieces of paper, you stick your logo on a first piece of paper, put all of those behind it, and now you have an operations manager.
Good.
Okay? You have what you do down in writing, and now you can pay somebody else little pieces to do it. And it's just not rocket science, guys. I want to encourage you, get good at what you're good at. If you suck at computers, don't throw left-handed in business. Okay? If you suck at, if you just can't seem to get some of this stuff down, go get help. Right? Go get help. That's what we're here for. That's what the whole industry is here for, is to help you guys make money, because they make money off of you guys. All right? Are we good?
I was just going to mention, one of the things that I noticed with agents where this really, is this like, it's like, hey, that's really cool, but does anybody, can you be honest? Does anybody have the going through your mind? It's okay. The reality of it is that you can't find freedom unless you're really ready and willing to relinquish control. And some of the people that I encounter in business who have the hardest time of letting control go is real estate agents. Because at the core of it, who you are is uniquely tied to what you do. And so it's difficult sometimes to be willing to trust somebody else. But the truth of the matter is that you cannot have a big business unless you're ready to willing to give up some control. Like, you will stay in self-employed world forever. You can't have a business. I've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times over. And it rubs and it grinds, but I want to encourage you, if you're willing to become a bigger leader and create more capacity within yourself by letting stuff go, you'll actually discover that, oh wow, getting stuff entered into .loop really isn't something I should even care about. I mean, care about it, but don't care about it.
Care about getting done.
Getting it done, exactly, which is what leaders do. Hey, did you get that done? No. Why? And then move on. Or yes, perfect. Going on to the next thing. Okay? So nobody taught you this in real estate school because that's not where you learn how to build a business. Okay? Good stuff, Marty.
Good. Questions? Challenges? Yes.
I just want to say that I'm kind of in the loop of trying to add people, know who to add, what to add. My hardest thing is a showing agent, because I feel that, this sounds terrible, but I feel like nobody treats their clients as good as me. And a lot of the relationship is built on taking those buyers out every day. However, I am dead dog tired. I hate everyone because I have not had enough sleep. But I'm learning that it depends on how you, everything on there depends on how you present it to your client.
Yeah, it's setting the expectation up front at your appointment. Hey, by the way, I have 3 of us, me and 2 showing assistants, because the market's going so fast. I needed help to make sure you get the house you want.
And people like to run with big dogs.
Yeah.
If you present yourself as you have somebody for every showing agent and all that, and depends on your perspective to your client. You have to sell that to them. I think I'm trying to talk myself into this. I think it's going to be way better, you know, because they'll think that you're a big team and you have, even if you only have 1 buyer's showing agent, they don't know.
There's a really good video on PLBU Connect on the showing agent model, and there's an agent in like Philadelphia that does it at a really, really high level. And she has like her script that she gives to.
Yeah, and I know we've got every level in the room, so I want to encourage you guys. I did showing agent stuff when I started too, right? We all start kind of low, and we need the experience, and we need the money, and so we do what we got to do until we become, you know, the upfront people with, you know, with teams and assistants and everything else. Okay, so sometimes you just, it can be a real win-win.
You have more time to do your other stuff,
right?
If you have a showing. Like, I have so many things I have to do, but I don't have time because I'm schlepping buyers all over.
Yep. So I want to encourage you guys, if you're willing to do a showing, be a showing agent, maybe throw it on our Facebook page and say what you think your rates should be. Like, hey, I'll be willing to show houses for $20 an hour, or I'm willing to show houses for, for 1% of the deal, or $25,000, whatever you think your rate is. Okay, you must be a really good showing agent. So you can put that out there, and you can be a showing agent for several different people. You can. The world is an oyster. I mean, go figure it out. But if somebody can do, mover, are you kidding me? That guy was brilliant the other day.
Hauler, not mover. A mover would have been awesome.
Mover would have been
Uber of moving.
Yeah.
Can I give you guys an example? I had coffee with Mr. Haller last Friday. Got a referral already.
Oh,
so
nice.
It works. Go out there and have the coffees with those people. And it works.
Nice. Yeah. So I want to encourage you. I didn't make this clear, and this will be my little exit thing. The dual tracking, the writing this down, doesn't mean you block out 3 days and you hold yourself up and you write down everything you do. No. Just take a notepad with you, or open up a note in your little handheld device, and whenever you do something, write down what you did or how you did it. Okay? And before you know it, when you go through your next transaction, you'll have almost an entire operations manual that you just need to edit and clean up. Does that make sense? Don't do it all at once. Do it progressively, like you've got a little shadow writing things down. Okay? All right, guys, have an awesome week. I hope it's been helpful. Go get them.
Thank you, Marty.